Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Gym Confidence series. Last week, we talked all about gym lingo, reps, sets, time under tension, progressive overload, RPE, some of those types of things and more. And I hope that was a really good introduction to a workout and what everything means. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about gym equipment. In the gym, there is tons of equipment and it can feel very intimidating when you walk into a new gym, especially even if you've been there a couple of times. If you're looking for a certain piece of equipment, if you are following a program and you maybe don't even know what that piece of equipment is, or if your gym doesn't have that specific piece of equipment, what can you do instead of? I get that question a lot with Fit Club. So in my Fit Club programming on my app, we have a gym workout and a home workout designed for each day. So specifically right now in Fit Club, we have 2 upper body workouts per week, 2 lower body workouts per week, and an optional 5th day, which is a full body. Those change throughout the months, but that's what we have right now. So on Monday, there's a gym version of an upper body and a home version of an upper body. And so it's great because if you're at home, you have certain types of equipment typically. And if you are at the gym, you have certain types of equipment typically. Since I'm programming these particular workouts for the masses, I have to make them able to be modified. And so I get that question a lot of my gym doesn't have this, or I don't have this piece of equipment at home. What am I able to use instead of, or what exercise or what piece of equipment would kind of, use the same muscle group or would work for this substitution? It's very normal to not know what piece of equipment or what movement even. That's not really what we're talking about in this episode, but either way, it's very common to know or to not know which piece of equipment or which exercise would replace a certain exercise or piece of equipment. My hope is that in this episode, I am going to teach you some things as far as, what equipment is in the gym. Typically, your gym or any gym you go to may have a certain type of equipment that I don't mention, vice versa. But the goal of this episode is for me to kind of walk you through what is at the gym, what does everything mean, and then also give you some examples of what movements, row, push, squat, hinge, things like that, can be done with which pieces of equipment. This is a lot. So when I was putting this episode together, I'm like, first of all, how do I explain to you gym equipment when I'm sitting down in front of a microphone and a screen? I'm not at the gym to be able to tell you in this episode, this is a squat machine. This is a squat rack. This is a Smith machine. So I'm going to do my best. Okay. And I think it's going to be great the way that I have it set up, but it's going to be a lot of information. I want you to listen a couple times if you need to. I want you to listen on your way to the gym if you need to, maybe while you're in the gym if you need to. But I think this is just going to be a great episode. And I think it has to be done. Like I have to talk about this to be able to continue the Gym Confidence series, because even if you're like, I don't know where that piece of equipment is in my specific gym, you will eventually, and you can do a couple laps there to kind of figure out. So I'm excited. Let's dive in. First of all, I want to talk about when you're going to the gym, and I even feel not the most confident in a gym, like I said last week, because I don't go to the gym very often. I'm very confident in the equipment that I have at home. I'm very confident in, I want to say the gym, but that's not true. I don't know how to explain this. I'm very confident around the pieces of equipment that I know to use. I know how to squat. I know how to hinge. I know how to execute the movement, and I can figure out how to use a piece of equipment because I've been around it long enough. But that doesn't mean that when I walk into a gym that I don't feel like people are staring at me because I'm not a regular. I feel like everyone knows everybody at the gym. Everyone's probably thinking, oh, she's new. She doesn't know what she's doing. Let's keep an eye on, kind of a thing. And that's not true. I really don't think everyone is staring at me thinking she's new. I can't be the only person in that gym at that time that is new there. But I'm just saying that because I still feel those feelings when I walk into a gym of, I don't know where anything is. I look like I'm brand new. People are going to be watching me thinking, who is she? What's her story? Where is she from? Probably no one is even thinking that. But those are things that still go through my head as a fairly experienced lifter. And so it's normal for you to think that as well when you are walking into the gym. I want you to understand a couple of things before going into the gym. Now, that being said, you can go into a gym and talk to the person at the front desk and say, hey, can you give me a tour? Can you show me how to work these things? That's totally fine. totally fine. And I would hope that every gym out there would be able to do that for you. I have a feeling some wouldn't, but hopefully they would be able to do that. But my goal for this episode is for you to hear this and feel more comfortable, because even if you get one time a tour of a gym and all the equipment, you're still going to feel like, oh, now everybody really knows I'm new because I just got a tour and now I'm really embarrassed. And now I hope that I'm doing the form correctly on the right machine. There's a lot to think about. So it's very valid to feel like that. However, I encourage you to just bite the bullet and go do it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Let's just embrace our inner badass and go to the gym if that works for you. So let's talk first about the main categories of gym equipment. So there are machines. Machines guide your movement and usually target a specific muscle group. Examples of machines are leg press, leg extension, hamstring curl, chest press, shoulder press, a lat pull down, and seated row. Machines are helpful and pretty great for beginners. They're more stable, so you're not wiggling around as much as if you're holding a barbell, if you're holding 2 dumbbells in your hands. They're easier to learn. They always have a sticker on the side of the machine telling you how to do it. They're great for targeting specific muscles, and they're less intimidating once you know how to adjust them. The adjusting of a machine is my nightmare. Like that for me is just, I hate it so much. That's where I feel like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. People are watching me. Again, that's a me problem. But machines are not less effective than free weights. They're tools, and sometimes they actually are the better option depending on the goal if you really need to target a specific muscle group. So machines are fantastic. They're a great place if you don't know your way around a gym and you don't know your way, I guess, around the equipment, right? If you don't understand really dumbbells, if you don't feel comfortable in the free weight section, adjusting the benches and taking up space there, if you don't feel comfortable at a squat rack and you just kind of want to put your AirPods in, your headphones on, and go to some machines, they're really, really great because you can, adjust the seating on them. And I'll go through some tips of that later. And then you can obviously read the instructions and figure out how to do it, right? You can also just sit on the machine, get on YouTube, Google really quick, how do I use a leg extension machine? And it's going to pop up. That being said, there are lots of different types of leg press. They work different ways. So it's a little intimidating, but the only way to figure it out is to go for it. And machines are really good and they are a great place to start. I find a lot of my newbie gym goers are like, I'm going to stick to the machines. I'm going to ask the people at the front desk to show me around the machines and I'm going to get really comfortable in that area first and then I'll branch out. So I think that feels really, really safe. For me, it feels the opposite, but that's because I work out at home and I have a barbell and I have dumbbells. I do have a machine, but I feel more comfortable just with my barbell and my dumbbells at the gym and personal preference. Number 2 is free weights. These include the dumbbells, the barbells, the kettlebells, the plates, and sometimes the medicine balls are out in this section. So examples of these exercises would be dumbbell presses, barbell squats, Romanian deadlifts, lunges, rows, bicep curls, and shoulder raises. Free weights are helpful because they give you more freedom of movement, which I love, challenge stability and coordination. They're easy to progress over time, and they're great for building strength and muscle. So this is kind of my jam. I love the free weight section. They can feel more intimidating though, because there's less guidance. There's no little stickers on the dumbbells telling you how to do a Romanian deadlift and how to execute a bicep curl. And there's usually people in that section that really know their way around, and you have to move the benches and you have to ask, are you done with this? When are you going to be done with this? Can we share this? Can I borrow these? Did you clean these? So you don't have to start with the most heavy weight. You don't have to start with the most complicated movement. Just get yourself in there. My recommendation into moving into the free weight section from the machines would be to, go do some bicep curls over there, go do some shoulder presses over there. That way you don't have to sit. You don't need a bench. You can just stand there. You can take a look around. It's a good way to do a simple movement pattern that you can not fuck up very easily and just get yourself into that section and kind of, create a little confidence for yourself. The next piece of equipment is the cables. Cable machines use pulleys and adjustable handles to create tension throughout the movement. So examples of cable exercises would be cable rows, cable lateral raises, tricep push downs, cable curls, bicep curls, cable kickbacks, face pulls. I love those. And cable chest flies. I hate those. Cables are helpful because they create constant tension, which makes things a little more difficult on the eccentric and the concentric movement. We talked about that last week, so go listen to that if you don't know what that means. They're very versatile. They're great for upper body and glutes, and they're easy to adjust the weight. They're also amazing for controlled movements and mind muscle connection. So cables kind of look intimidating though, until you realize they're actually the most versatile piece and you can not really fuck it up. Like there's so many different, you can keep it low to the ground and do glute kickbacks. You can put it, move the little pulley part way up to its highest notch and do pull downs. There's so many different ways you can use the cable machine. And it's one of the places that I hang out at the gym when I do go, not very often, because I could do a full body workout on the cable machine, not even move, not make eye contact with a single person. And that's my dream. So that's the cables. And then next we have the body weight exercises. Obviously, these require nothing as far as equipment. So you can go to the gym, you can do a couple laps around, and then you can go into the body weight room and you can just be like, okay, I went to the gym today. I made it. I'm going to stay here in my little section. I'm going to stay here in this room, do my thing, some body weight movements. And body weight movements are hard. It's not like that's a cop out. You can kind of watch around you. You can do a couple laps, act like you're looking for something. You can look like you're getting your steps in, get on the treadmill for a while and kind of just take a look around, right? But body weight exercises would be push-ups, squats, lunges, step-ups, planks, glute bridges, and assisted pull-ups. Again, these are just a few examples. Body weight is great for learning movement patterns. It can be done anywhere in the gym. It helps with control and stability, and it still counts as strength training when used intentionally. And it doesn't mean that it's easy. Again, it's not a cap out. If you've ever done slow split squats, Bulgarian split squats, you know that that's not easy. And so it's not a cop out at all to just be kind of hiding in a corner, doing a couple movements that are body weight. I do that a lot actually as well, now that I'm thinking about that. I remember being on a cruise ship once and we went up to work out and I just stayed in the corner, did some body weight exercises and just kind of scoped out the area the first day. And then the next day I felt a little more comfortable. So I'm very intimidated in the gym as well. Okay. But just sharing my tips here. All right. So how do you know what equipment to use? First of all, it would be great if you had an app or a program at least to use where you have visuals and it says, this is the plan that you are using, and these are the workouts that you are doing, and this is the equipment that you can use once you get there. Just go find it in the gym. It's very easy, right? Because this is where people tend to overthink. You walk into a gym with no plan, and you see sometimes hundreds. That'd be a massive gym. But I've been to massive gyms before. You see 100 pieces of equipment or place, it just looks really overwhelming. And where do you start and what do you do? Am I doing upper? Am I doing lower? Like somebody's on that machine and I wanted it. Now what do I do? It can really become overwhelming very, very quickly. And so having a plan is very helpful. You don't have to use every machine. You don't have to use every cable. You don't have to sample each section while you're there. Literally doesn't matter. Following your structure plan is helpful. Knowing what muscle group you're training before you go is helpful. That kind of helps you to stay in a certain area of the gym. Understanding the movement pattern that you're doing so you feel confident that you're not looking like a total idiot. And then using the equipment that helps you execute that movement well. You can decide, do I want to do my rows with the barbells? Do I want to do my rows on the lying machines? Do I want to do my rows with the dumbbells? What do I want to do? So have a plan, look at it before you go into the gym so you know what you're doing. Examples, if your workout says rows, you can use a row. You can perform a row on dumbbells, barbells, cable machines, or the seated row machine. If your workout says squats, you can do those body weight with dumbbells, barbell, Smith machine, or the goblet squat setup. I love that one. If your workout says hinge, you might see Romanian deadlifts, hip thrusts, and cable pull-throughs. So the equipment is just the tool. You don't have to do barbell squats to see results. You don't have to use the cable tricep push downs to see results in your triceps. You can do those with dumbbells. It's just the tool. The execution and your form matters most. What we talked about last week, the reps and sets matter a lot as well. Let's talk about how to adjust these machines without feeling awkward. I wanted to touch on this because this is a huge confidence piece. For me, it's a deal breaker. If I walk past a machine and I'm thinking, I don't know how to adjust that, I'm going to look like an idiot, I'm out. And that's just me. I know I should stop and I should try it and I should ask for help and I should do all the things that I'm telling you. But there have been more times than not that I've not done that. And I've just been like, I feel more comfortable in the dumbbell section. I'm going to go over there. But these are some tips that I came up with. You want to check the seat height first. So can you move it comfortably? Are your joints lined up with the machine? So seat height matters a lot. Handles or pads, are they in a position where you can control the movement? And are you reaching too far or feeling cramped on the machine? Because the person before you could have been taller or shorter, and that's going to really matter. So make sure your handles or the padding is in the right place. Range of motion, can you feel through the exercise without pain? You'll know if it's set up correctly, if you don't have any pain, and you can feel the target muscle working. If you are on the back row, what did I just say? Let's say a cable pull through. If you're doing a cable pull through and you're feeling that in your shoulders and you're supposed to be feeling it in your glutes, that's incorrect. So make sure you're feeling the muscle group that you're supposed to be working. For the weight selection, start lighter than you think always. Do a few test reps. You're just warming up, and then you can adjust and go heavier from there. And then again, there's instructions right on the machine. Most machines have a small diagram, a sticker on them. It's okay to look at them. It's okay to be weird and check them. I at least do that. If I'm going to sit on a machine, I will read it and make sure that I'm doing it correctly, because I would rather look a little like, oh, she's new here, than, oh, she just broke the machine or broke her leg or something. Okay. So please read the instructions on the machine. Yes, I'm a little dramatic, but it is what it is. Now, you are allowed to adjust the machine. The machine is supposed to fit your body, not the other way around. And the people around you can deal with it. If obviously they're looking at you like you're a stranger here, you are supposed to adjust the machine to fit your body. So, what muscle should I be feeling? This is another confidence killer in the gym. People will think, am I doing this wrong? Because I feel the exercise somewhere unexpected. I hear this a lot in an RDL. You're supposed to feel an RDL in your glutes, and a lot of people feel it in their back. That just means that your form is off. And so we just need to practice. Practice makes perfect. Not a huge deal. But some exercises work multiple muscles. So feeling more than one muscle is normal. If you're doing an RDL and you feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings and a little bit in your back, that's totally fine. Most exercises have a muscle that's working, and it has a muscle that is helping that muscle move. So it's very common to feel a couple different muscle groups on one exercise. You should have an idea of which muscle group you are targeting. So if you're doing a back row, we're going to be targeting your back. If you're doing squats, you're going to be targeting your glutes, your quads, your core. Make sure that you know which muscle group you are mainly working with that exercise. Again, if you're following a plan, it'll stay right on there. So examples of this are a lat pull down. You're mostly going to feel that in your back and your lats, not just in your biceps, right? You don't want to be just pulling with your biceps on a lat pull down. A lot of people do that. Chest press, you're going to be feeling that in your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Leg press, quads, glutes, hamstrings, depending on your foot position. RDLs, hamstrings and glutes, not your lower back. A little bit of back is okay when you're learning, but overall, you don't want to feel an RDL in your back. And then hip thrust, glutes, not all quads or lower back. If you only feel it in your joints, that's bad. Adjust. If you only feel a sharp pain, if you're only feeling it in your lower back, or if your lower back actually ever takes over an exercise, that is not good. Please stop. If you can't control the movement, or if you feel really unstable, you need to get off, adjust, walk away from that machine and ask for help. Okay. Feeling the burn it's not only a sign that the exercise is working. It can also be that you are feeling it somewhere else. Okay. Also, you don't have to feel the burn to know that it's working. You can also be doing an exercise and not be feeling a huge burn in that muscle group. Yes, towards the end, if you're completing 8 reps, you want to be feeling it in that muscle pretty hard. You want to be feeling a little something, around reps 6, 7, and 8, but you don't have to be burning the entire time. That's not a sign that you're doing it correctly. So now let's talk about machines versus free weights versus the cables, which is best. This is where I want to walk through what is great for what, and you can kind of decide for yourself, because it depends on the person. There is no correct answer. It's not like machines are great for glutes and cables are great for your back. There's no one way to build your body, to body recomp, to work your way around a gym. Okay. Machines are great for stability. They're great for beginners, isolation, going closer to failure safely, because you're not going to drop the dumbbells on your face. And it's great for learning the target muscle group, because you can only really work the machine one way. And so it's really great for learning. So I highly recommend machines when you're first getting started at the gym. Free weights are great for strength, coordination, full body movements, progressive overload, and training stability. Cables are great for constant tension, accessory movements, upper body, glutes, and controlled movements. Cables, highly recommend for that constant tension piece. It's a lot harder to do like a lateral raise with cables than it is dumbbells. I mean, it's not easy by any means to do it with dumbbells, but it's that constant tension on the way up and down. It just makes it really, really hard. and a lot more challenging. Body weight is great for beginner. It's great for learning form. It's great for warming up, control at home workouts. You can do them anywhere, and they're great for beginners and advanced lifters. So you can start with body weight movements. You can advance then to dumbbell movements. You can go back to body weight movements to work on mobility, flexibility. There's no right or wrong. There's no piece of equipment or tool in the gym that is the hierarchy, I guess, like that is top dog. It's just whatever you feel like doing. I personally, like I said, gravitate towards the barbell and the free weights. And I actually just love being in like the cardio room or the flexibility room where I just have room to walk around and do whatever I want. I love that because I don't know, I'm just used to working out in my own space and where it's just me or me and my husband, my animals. I don't feel comfortable working out with a lot of people. Now, if I had to go to the gym, don't get me wrong, I would love it and I would figure it out and I would do it and I would thrive there. I know that I would. I sometimes think about going to a gym and getting a membership because it would be on my way home from the office sometimes and I could get out of my comfort zone. I have access to more machines where I could maybe grow bigger glutes or work on my shoulders differently or have a glute extension machine. Like there are certain things that I think, man, it would be really fun to do that. And it would be out of my comfort zone. And I would probably learn things by watching other people. But I like to be home. It's been working for me for years. Anyway, little side note there. But there really, truly is not one way or one piece of equipment. I want to drive that home. You do not have to start on body weight or the machines. You can go straight to the cables. If you have a demo video on an app that you are following from a plan, you will be totally fine. Every movement exercise in my app has a demo of either me doing the movement or someone, a man or woman, you can choose which one you want to see doing the movement on the app. So you can see, you have the form tips or you can just see them doing it and see exactly how they're moving. Are they hinging? Are they squatting? What does that mean? And you can make your form match that form. So you will gain confidence very quickly in the gym if you are following a plan. It's a little harder when you're just totally winging it, as is everything else in life if you're totally winging it. So let's talk really quickly about gym etiquette that makes equipment less intimidating. So not only are you trying to figure out the gym and your way around the gym and what the layout is like, you can also kind of tell like, okay, there's more women here, there's more men here, there's more older clientele here, there's runners over here. You can kind of get a general, idea of what's going on in the gym by just taking a few laps or stopping somewhere and stretching, getting your phone ready, looking at your plan and kind of eyeballing the place, just taking a look around while you're doing all of that. That's a really good thing to do when you're first walking into the gym, just to kind of assess the situation, if you will. But not only do you have that piece of walking in, looking like I'm brand new. Hello, everyone. Look at me. And then trying to figure out where everything is. Now you have to kind of figure out how to maneuver through your workout with everyone else there. So is someone on the machine that you wanted, go to the next workout or the next exercise and figure out what can I do instead of, I'm supposed to do chest press first, but everybody's on the barbells and I was going to use barbells. So now I can go use the dumbbells or I can use a machine or I can go down to the next exercise, which is glute bridges. And then I can do those instead. So you have to kind of navigate all of that as well. And then you have to navigate the people there. So quite a few things going on at once. Again, not a huge deal, but some etiquette so that you have a couple less things to think about while you're there. As far as like, am I doing this correctly? There are signs as well inside of every gym as far as this first one, wiping down the equipment after you use it. I usually wipe it down before I use it as well, just to make sure because some people don't wipe it down after. So I'll usually go to the station, grab the spray bottle and the paper towel, whatever, spray the spray on the paper towel, go wipe off my equipment, do my set, and then wipe it off after. But you want to always make sure you're wiping down the equipment after you're using it. Don't camp out on the machine while scrolling your phone. It's okay to ask how many sets do you have left because then they'll know I'm waiting for that machine. It's okay to ask, can I work in, but only if it makes sense. So if you see someone else doing supersets on two different machines, so they're on one machine and then they're going to the next machine, you can say, hey, can I work in here? So while they're on the other machine, you can step in on the first machine. Only if that makes sense and only if they're going to feel comfortable. If they give you a look like, just wait till I'm done, then just wait till they're done. Give people some space. Don't block the rack. Put the dumbbells and plates back. Re-rack your weights. That would drive me crazy. And if someone is using what you need, have a backup option. So again, check out your app open your app, get out your phone, open your app and see the programming and say, okay, I would like to do squats with barbells, but if not, or with the barbell, if not, I'm going to have to use dumbbells or the Smith machine. I'd like to do my chest press with the barbell, but if not, I'm going to do it on dumbbells. If that fails too, I'm going to use the machines. So just kind of have a backup plan. Gym etiquette is not that big of a deal. It's really just about, I think, respect and honestly some decency. It's not that big of a deal. Like gym etiquette is always asked, like, what is the way to? Again, I don't go to the gym all the time, so I don't really know if there's a ton of gym etiquette. But every gym I've ever been to, quite a few, it's been just it's common sense. Okay, just be respectful. If someone's using the machine, then you can't use it. You have to wait your turn. It's pretty normal, but just don't be an asshole and give people some space and don't talk to people and don't answer if they talk to you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So what to do when the equipment you need is taken, which is kind of what I just talked about, but your options are to wait if it's important. And if they're almost done, you can just wait. You can swap the order of your workout. You can use a similar piece of equipment or you can choose the same movement pattern with a different tool, like I talked about. I wanted to give you some examples of this. If the leg press is taken, you can do goblet squat, Smith machine squat, dumbbell squat, or hack squat. If the cable row is taken, you can do a dumbbell row, seated row machine, a barbell row, or a chest supported row. If the hip thrust machine is taken, you can do barbell hip thrust, Smith machine hip thrust, dumbbell glute bridge, or cable pull throughs. There is always a substitute for any exercise. So those would be the same movement patterns. If the hip thrust machine, the barbell hip thrust, the Smith machine hip thrust, the glute bridge, it's all a thrust, right? The pull throughs, it's all a thrust movement. If all of those are taken, then you can do a hinge movement. It's not going to be the exact same, but it is going to be working your glutes. There's always a way that you can make it work. So don't feel like I just fucked up my entire workout because I can't get on this machine. That's not a big deal. So the confidence plan before you walk into the gym, I wanted to give you just a little checklist here. Know what workout you're doing. Look up 1 to 2 exercises that you're unsure about. Watch the videos. Have one backup option for busy equipment. Start with lighter weights for new movements. Give yourself permission to learn. You can also just say, well, I'm going to look kind of crazy when I walk in here and everyone's going to know that I'm new, but also everyone else in here was new at one point. So I don't care what people think, and you can walk through the door. When you get in there, you're going to find your first exercise, set it up slowly, do a few test reps, adjust if needed, focus on your workout. Don't look around. It's okay to walk around during your rest periods. It's okay to grab your phone and scroll a little bit so that you're not panicking and having to look around, or look around, watch people, smile. You're not behind, you're learning. And I hope that this episode gives you some confidence to walk into the gym and at least pretend like you're confident and know I can swap the machine. I can use the barbell. I can use the dumbbells. I can actually just go to the body weight room. It's fine. You do whatever you want. You can actually just go your first time to the gym and get on the treadmill, like I said, and just look around for 20 minutes and just make sure it's even a place you want to be at, right? What is the vibe like? Like, check it out. Nothing wrong with that either. So again, you don't have to master every piece of equipment. And if you're going to the gym long term, there's no freaking rush. So stay in the dumbbell section if you want to. Not a huge deal. You don't need to use every machine. You don't need to use the machines and the cables and the dumbbells and the barbells and the plates. Like, you don't have to use everything every single time you're there. You don't need to look like you've been there forever. You just need a plan, basic understanding, willingness to adjust, and repetition. The only way that you learn your way around a gym is to go to the gym. And once you get in there and you will see all those people and you will think, okay, all these people had a starting place. All of these people were me one time. They didn't know their way around here. And here they are. They're killing it. They're all friends, right? You'll find someone friendly that looks friendly and you can go over and say, hey, what exercise is that? I've never seen that done before. Can you show me how to do it? Be open. Like, it's so fun. The gym environment actually is so nice. I was talking about this, I think, on Erin's podcast. I was just recorded an episode with my friend Erin to be on her Healing Unfiltered podcast. And we were kind of talking about this type of thing as a beginner, going into the gym and feeling like you're behind, or just feeling like everybody's staring at me, whether it be I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm overweight and I don't look like I work out, whatever kind of self-limiting belief we take into the gym with us, right? And think that people are going to notice this self-limiting belief about me. you feel like you have it on your forehead, like I've never been here before, like a big flashing light on your face. But realistically, the people at the gym are just people. They're there to better themselves. They had a day one, they had a week one, they had a year one, they've had a trial period. Everything that you've gone through, someone in that gym has also gone through, right? The gym is actually a very, very kind place. Usually the biggest, quote unquote, scariest looking man or woman there with all the muscles that you think, oh my gosh, they are just killing it. And I'm sure they are just mean business and they're so scary. They're probably the nicest people you'll ever meet. They will probably give you the most help there at the gym. So just truly think, instead of thinking this is such a scary place, think this is a place that has very like-minded people like me. They're going through the same thing as me. They want to be better like me. They want to be healthier like me. So you have a lot in common with the people there. And so instead of walking into the gym feeling scared and afraid, I think it's really great just to have that positive attitude instead. So I really, really hope this episode helped. We will be moving on to episode 3 next week, and we'll be starting to put all of these pieces together to hit your goals. Because yes, we need to know what reps are and what sets are and all of the terminology. And yes, we need to be able to not only work our way around a gym, but also if you have these pieces of equipment at home, if you're going to be bringing a squat rack into your home or a hip thrust machine into your home, or you have dumbbells at home, you need to know how to work them. And so this is very important. This episode is very important to know how to do that, how to adjust. But ultimately, what does this mean for our goals? How do I build the body I want at the gym or with these pieces of equipment? So we'll be building on each week throughout this gym confidence series. So I hope this was helpful. I know it was a lot of words that I stumbled over because it's a lot of reading. It's hard. It's challenging. Words are hard. And I have a podcast. Riddle me that. But anyway, I hope this was really, really helpful. If you have a friend that is starting their fitness journey and is a little bit nervous to go to the gym and kind of figure all this out, send them this episode. They would truly benefit from it. And I will talk to you all next week.